Good afternoon, customers. We're just out here taking advantage of this beautiful Saturday. Working this weekend. We're working every day that we can while the weather is nice. The roof that we're doing today had some unique scenarios come up that I just wanted to take a second to explain. Actually, not really too unique, but are common things that happen. And one stems from drip edge and gutter apron, which is in the comments there. Some things the reason why this customer originally called us was they were having a leak, and I'll show you where the leak is. The leak is coming from, I don't know if I can zoom, yep. So the leak is coming from this area right here, where the fascia meets the roof. And the problem with that is that there wasn't any step flashing. Okay, so one thing that we found out during the tear off is that this was a one layer tear off, right? So code does allow for a second layer, but we don't do that at Right Rate Roofing because we want to investigate all the problems, bring the home up to code, bring the flashing up to code, bring the ventilation up to code, and just make sure that it's done right. But one thing that I'm going to show you that I found as we're tearing off the drip edge and gutter apron, because I knew that there was an issue here too. I was going to show you guys. I found this. So here you can see drip edge, right? One, that's not supposed to be, and I'll show you guys when I get up top here, that this should be gutter apron, not drip edge. But when I went to tear this off to show you guys what I was trying to show you, I found another layer of felt and the old gutter apron. So whoever installed it originally put the right material down there, put the felt down, but the last tear off left the felt, which did not allow you to update all the underlayments and actually get down to all the flashing issues. So maybe the failure was caused because we didn't have appropriate tear off done. So I just wanted to show that, and then we'll get up here to the drip edge and the gutter apron so I can show you a little bit easier the difference between the two. So this material right here is a pre-bent gutter apron. What you were looking at down on the bottom when I was showing you is a custom bent gutter apron. Functionally, no difference. The only reason I know it's custom bent is because it had a taller face on it. And this is a standard face for gutter apron that you would buy pre-bent. This product is drip edge. A lot of people familiar with that. It has that T-shape. The main difference between the two, look at that, that's a 90-degree bend. This is not a 90-degree bend, right? So in areas on the roof edge, on the gables, this product is the right product. Areas on the eaves, this product is the right product. And it's not just because it's named that. So I want to show you where it's important. By the way, I see that gap. We're going to fix this for this customer. We're going to screw this fascia board in there. It moves quite a bit. We just got to get that tightened up for them. So, but for this video, I don't necessarily need to tighten it. So, so right here you can see how there's no gap between. My phone's trying to. See how there's no gap between the gutter apron. If this was snug tight like it's supposed to, there would be very little gap there. When I go this way, you can see that the gutter apron has a very large gap there. To fit that snug, I have to push it down really tight. So if I leave that, over time it would pull out. So if you look, if I just set that up against there, look at the coverage that it's grabbing the deck by. Then look at the coverage you're getting with the gutter apron. Right? No tricks there. You're getting that much more coverage with the gutter apron. So the gutter apron product is the specific product for the drip edge. The reason why I'm bringing it up in a video is because somebody had once told me that, well, what does it matter? Drip edge is still code compliant. Even lists drip edge. It doesn't talk about gutter apron in code. Well, while install per code or beyond, this is one of those beyond moments that as a contractor we need to be able to go past it. We would never decide to go against code, but there are sometimes things as experienced contractors you need to look at it and say, does that make sense? Are they just missing something? And I think in this case the spirit of code is correct, but the material mentioned is wrong. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because when we first got back into the area, one of the big suppliers that we're utilizing didn't carry gutter apron or carried very little gutter apron. Well, if you know roofs 99% of the time have more eave space than they do rake space. Rakes is the gable ends. And that's on a gabled home, as well as, we talked about hip roofs, they're all eaves. So they would all require gutter apron as the best material. Gutter apron does not cost more than drip edge. The only reason I can see why we would use drip edge, well, there's two reasons why we would use drip edge over gutter apron at the eave is we don't know about gutter apron, so we're just uneducated about the process, or as a contractor, we're not wanting to mess around with two materials, and there's a less chance that we'll be short if we just order all drip edge. It's easier, right? So I don't know any other two reasons why you would choose drip edge at the eave versus gutter apron, but this is very important. And while an inch doesn't seem like a lot in terms of a measurement, an inch on a roof is a mile. So it could cause a lot of issues. It could be why this fascia board's pulling out, that the wood around the rafters or the fascia board's gotten soft and it's pulling. It could be that this is an ice dam and so on and so forth. But what we're trying to do is eliminate the chances. And on something like this, it doesn't cost any more. It's a little bit more thought that goes into making sure that you have the right material for the job and the right amounts. But that's it. So if you guys have any questions about that, feel free to leave comments or message us privately. We like the comments because the more engaging a post is, the more Facebook shows it. If you guys would like an estimate, you can click the link below and select free quote, or you can just go to rightrateroofing.com. That's grammatically correct. Rightrateroofing.com would be glad to get you an estimate. Most likely we're looking at next year before we're doing an install. That said, we'll continue to schedule as long as it stays above 40 degrees per manufacturer instruction, and go from that. But if not, we'd be glad to talk to you ahead of time and then maybe do something in the spring for you. So again, that's rightrateroofing.com, and have a great weekend.